Hello, everyone. I am Ben Morris. I'm here to speak to you a little bit about Status Incubate. And I've got a short presentation that we can go through with a number of slides, which will hopefully cover the main points of Status Incubate. And then afterwards, we'll have some time for questions and answers. So feel free to ask anything. Um, so what is Status Incubate? Status Incubate is dedicated to decentralization. Essentially, Status is an ecosystem project. If you've been following Status for a while, you would know that. And as part of our initiative to help to develop and grow this Ethereum ecosystem, we've decided to create this incubator. So what is our goal? Our goal is to foster a rich ecosystem for the decentralized web, because the better the Web3 ecosystem is, the better your Status experience will be, and the more compelling Status becomes to new users. As some of you may be aware, Status is also creating a dApp browser. Therefore, if we have better, richer, more useful dApps within our browser that people can access through Status, that's going to be better for us, and it's going to be better for the ecosystem as a whole. So that's definitely one area that we want to focus on and help to grow and foster. Our aim is to utilize our resources and expertise to help up and coming teams of passionate blockchain entrepreneurs build successful decentralized solutions. Essentially, what that means is that we have received a strong amount of experience over the last few years. I think in the blockchain world, 2 years is about 10 years in the outside world. So we have strong experience across different aspects of what a blockchain project may be required to do. And we want to be able to offer this experience and utilize this experience and the resources that we have to help other up and coming projects to become successful and to help to build out their project from essentially prototype or idea to implementation. Why would people choose Status Incubate? We have a number of reasons as to why we think we have an appealing offering. One is that we are exclusively a blockchain incubator. So we're designed for both open source and closed source projects, but all we're focused on is blockchain. If it's not a blockchain project, then frankly, we don't have the expertise for it. We have the expertise for blockchain, and that's why we want to offer that expertise out. Status is a window to the Ethereum ecosystem, and so we have a vested interest in helping founders build successful dApps on Ethereum. This goes back to my initial point as to why we're doing this in the first place. We are that window to Ethereum. We will be. And so we have a very, very strong vested interest in ensuring that dApps are successful on Ethereum. Thirdly, our experience has given us industry-specific knowledge around regulation and legal structure, amongst other things. And I think this experience is obviously quite valuable, especially for projects like Status that have been around for a couple of years now, at least. So we want to then help to spread and use that knowledge to help up and coming projects. And lastly, Status is a blockchain project like you. Our terms are designed to make your project a success. That means that basically the way that we've structured the incubator and the terms that we have, whether it's the funding amounts or the equity that we would ask for, they're really, really favorable, and they're really, really, terms that are better than what other incubators or potential VCs may be offering, purely because our interest is not to make money. Our interest is really to help to build this ecosystem. And that's going to be a recurring theme of this presentation, because that's essentially what Status wants to do and why Status is doing it. So what do we provide in the incubator? This is not a finite list. So there's 5 points here, but it's definitely not everything. On a basic level, we'll provide funding, and that's different kind of funding, legal and regulatory support, organizational structure, technical mentorship, marketing, and PR. And I'll talk a little bit about each of these aspects as we go along. So in terms of funding, our funding decisions are made case by case. We don't have a set formula where we give X amount of funding for X amount of equity, or however we structure it. It's not going to be like that. It's going to be based on the merits of the project, and it's going to be about what's appropriate for that specific project in terms of what they need to take their idea to the next level. So as a result, we offer different kinds of funding. One is the seed funding, which is obviously a smaller stake, and then Series A funding for projects that are a little bit more mature and looking to take it to the next level. And we'll also be providing introductions to potential investors once the incubatees have completed the program. So the program will last for about 3 to 4 months. And at the end, we'll have introductions to, well-known blockchain investors that we can essentially link the incubatees to, and they can help with raising additional funds, whether it's Series A, Series B, or larger private investments, if that's the route that the incubatee would like to go down. We will offer technical mentorship. So we have a strong team of developers specializing in blockchain technology and the entire Web3 stack. And they are keen to become mentors as well. They are keen to help these new projects to navigate this unknown world of decentralized protocols. And there'll be a few different ways that we can do that. One is we'll be providing technical architecture review and support. And the second element we'll also be providing SNT to use with Status Open Bounty. And some of you may be aware of the Status Open Bounty network, platform at the moment. So it essentially allows you to post problems that you have. So maybe you have bugs in your code, and you can offer a certain bounty, a certain reward to have someone that you don't employ and you don't have a relationship with to help you to resolve that specific bug or issue. So we'll give you some S&T, we'll allocate some S&T to help you to do that and to utilize the Open Bounty platform. Now, legal, regulatory, and admin support. This can obviously be tricky in the world of blockchain, and we have some good experience around that. And we also have a strong network of lawyers and firms who specialize in this space. So part of the service will be to introduce the incubatees to the relevant firms that they need to be in touch with, depending on which country they want to be incorporated in. So it really depends. But we have that connection, we have the knowledge for that, and we'll also provide some sort of review around compliance and regulation for your specific project. It will also help with tax optimization and tax filing. That's also an area that we are quite strong in. So we can also do that for you. Marketing and PR. We'll basically use we'll have a number of agencies that we're working with, and we'll also provide introductions there. But outside of the introductions, we'll be helping with high-level marketing strategies and token launch plans, and you can utilize the Status marketing team for that. And we're actually going to have a specific marketing resource that will be focused on the incubator, and we'll be able to help on a more frequent basis with the incubatees and the projects that come into our incubator. So that should be really great, but the connections also are very valuable. So we're connected with the top PR firms, for example, and we are more than happy to pass on those connections and those introductions to you. Organizational structure. So one particular part which we found projects may struggle with is building out the team. For example, smart contract developers are fairly hard to find. Unfortunately, there's a shortage of them. But we'll have a dedicated recruiter for the incubator, which will then allow you to utilize them to source talent. So depending on what you need, you'll be able to tap on their shoulder. You can have access to our recruitment network and the people that we are already in touch with. And if they're the right fit, then they could be people that you potentially hire as part of your project. We'll also provide guidance around the full decentralized organizational structure. So how does a decentralized organization work? How are they most efficient? What sort of things do they need to do on a day-to-day basis to run and function? And again, that's somewhere that we have experience. We have over 80 people in Status globally at the moment. So we can definitely help you there. The last bit that we'll offer is actual space. So Status we'll be looking to open office space firstly around Europe and then moving on to Asia. We'll be opening incubators in multiple cities, hopefully this year. So we're looking primarily at spaces in Berlin and Switzerland. That does not mean that you have to move to these cities in order to take advantage of the incubator program. Not at all. Basically, all it means is that if you're located within Berlin, if you're located in Switzerland, or you want to move, you have the flexibility of doing so and participating in the program within the physical cities themselves. Now, outside of these two cities, we're looking at Berlin, we're looking at Amsterdam, and in Asia, we're looking at Singapore and Seoul. To be perfectly open about it, it's not a very fast task. It's not a very easy task to get office space in the right space, and the environment that we want to create is quite specific to the status culture. So we're really taking our time in doing it, but we should expect to get about 2 or 3 cities up and running towards the end of the year or beginning of next year. And that's it in terms of the presentation. Of course, if you're interested in applying for Status Incubate, you can apply through the website that I have on the screen now. The application process at the moment, the way that it works is that you apply, you put in your details, you put in your white paper if you have that, or any attachments or presentations that you may have. From there, the Status team will begin to review the applications, and they'll go through a few rounds. And once it's gone through these rounds, then we'll set up an interview with the potential candidates, and we'll just do that over a Google Hangout or so, and we'll discuss the project. We'll have some questions for you, and after that then we'll decide, okay, is this something that we're moving forward with? That entire process should take a few weeks. We have a number of applications now that we're going to start to review as well now, and the first sort of batch should be starting in the coming weeks, one or so months. So we're really excited to have them on board. We're really excited to kick this project off and to start offering value to the people that come into our program. And after this first batch, which should take around 3 or so months, I think hopefully by then we should be much closer to finding some office space in Berlin and Zug. So it means that you can physically enjoy that space. Another aspect as well is that this space will be co-working space. So if you have already completed the incubator program, if you just needed somewhere to work with like-minded people, you could absolutely utilize this space. And we'll have more information on that as well as time goes on. Okay, so that's all for me. Now I think we can open it up to question and answer. So let me just pause the share. Okay, and let's see what we have. Do we have any questions that have been posted up by any chance? Just checking. Okay, in the meantime, what I will do is maybe go through some frequently asked questions that I've been asked a lot. So for example, how will I be judged? Well, it's a good question. If anyone's asked that, it's, well, the team would judge you based on the merit of your application and proposal. So what I really, really do advise you to do is to be as thorough as possible in your application. We look at this first. We do spend some time looking at this. We really think about it. So please make sure that you've got all the information and that you're as elaborative and concise with the presentation, with the application as possible. Another question is, what's the overall timeline of the program? Well, it's around 3 to 4 months. It's not completely finite in terms of the amount of time that we give you, but it's a minimum of 3 and I think maximum around 4. But if for some specific reason you need to have more, then that's fine as well. It's been case by case in that aspect. I've got one question saying, are you coming to Seoul? Well, I actually come to Seoul quite a lot. So I will most likely be there very soon. My wife is Korean. But the incubator will have a space in Seoul, hopefully maybe sometime next year. I mean, it's definitely a target country for us. So we'd really love to look at that. Okay, I've got one question saying, any blockchain related project can apply or must fit status, interest, mission, vision? That's an excellent question. So at the moment, no, we're opening it up to absolutely everyone in the blockchain space. It doesn't have to fit into status in terms of being a DApp on status. That's not a requirement. I think the value that we can add is greater than that. And for at least the first few batches, we'll be opening it up to everyone. Yeah, I think we've got a few more questions in. I'm a single founder. Can I apply? Yes, though in our experience, it can be very difficult for you. So we strongly recommend that you bring on a co-founder to help with the workload. I wouldn't advise it, but you can absolutely apply. Oh, I've got another question saying who can apply? Basically anyone. What we're really looking for is we're looking for founders with a technical background. So at least one of the founders should have some sort of technical background and should be a developer themselves, and then they can bring on the other people that they would like. Okay, let me just try and look at some more questions. We already have investors. Can we apply? Yes. So even if you've already received investment, that's absolutely fine. You can still partake of the incubator model and just apply as normal. Okay, there's another question that says can companies apply? Yeah, I think submit the application and we'll see what sort of structure you have at the moment, but I don't see why they wouldn't be able to apply. So it's around the structure that you have in place, and if it fits what we're looking for, then yeah, we can progress from there. What else do we have? Okay, it looks like we have a lot of people from South Korea on the channel. So hello from from Switzerland to South Korea. 안녕하세요. Please apply for the program if you have an idea and you think that we can help. Feel free to do that. Okay, I think I've just got one more question. Do I need to be in a status incubate location? No, I answered this before. So you don't need to be in an incubator location. However, if it's convenient or you're in that country or you would like to be, then absolutely it's up to you. You can be in that location and go through the program itself. Each location will have an incubator program manager, and they will be in charge of the entire program. So setting up the sessions that you'll have with mentors, and then the talks and the meetups and what have you at these office spaces. This will be all done by the incubator program manager in the physical location. So it's always going to be preferred for you to be there. I think it'll be better for you. It'll be a better experience, but it's not a requirement. Okay. So if there's no more questions, for anyone watching this that wasn't able to get a question in, please feel free to shoot me a message. You can contact me at ben@status.im, and I would be happy to respond to any questions that you may have. So you can do it through that if you didn't get a chance to actually put something in now. Okay, guys. Well, thank you for tuning in. We're really, really super excited about Status Incubate, and I hope you are too. We think we can really add some value and help to grow this ecosystem and accelerate the ecosystem. So please join us in doing this if you think that that you've got an idea that we can help you with. But until next time, stay tuned. There'll be more updates about Status Incubate as time goes by. But have a great day, and hope to see you guys on Status soon.